please introduce yourself and tell the audience what you do.
Oh, my name is Robyne Shea, and I'm an AD in film, which is assistant director.
So what brings you back to VoiceStory Live?
Oh God, the VoiceStory community in itself. I'm so happy that it's back. I've been on the stage twice already, and I enjoyed both times. And it's nice to be able to take a theme or a story or whatever and express it in a more intimate way. With strangers sometimes actually makes it more exhilarating and easier to share sometimes than with a person-to-person that you know so well.
So what is it about this particular theme, Alone in Silence, that resonated with you?
Alone in silence is something I've practiced my entire life. Being alone and silent actually brings me a lot of joy, although it's had its development. It's developed into that. So it's something that I can relate to, empathize with, and would like to bring a little bit more of the positive light to, because often people think that it's something that is negative, and it doesn't always have to be that way.
So when you say give it a more positive side to it, well, like, can you give us an example? I'm sure you can pick out of the air a negative one.
Well, let's say even just the word isolation is itself. When you say isolation, often you picture someone alone by themselves in a room, dark, maybe sad, so just the connotation of the word sometimes will bring you to a place. So maybe creating a different way to look at it so that you can see, as they say, a little bit of light in the dark.
What I'm seeing is, what's your view that people are not wanting to be, not isolated, just not wanting to be alone and just distracting themselves these days with devices?
Alone, that in itself it's alone, which means singular. And we as a society have become so compelled to use and addicted to that word is so, but we've become so addicted to having to have something with us all the time. Like you lose your phone, you're panicking. Like is your best friend you lost your best friend, you lost an electronic device. So people often, the alone in itself is a fear.
Yeah, like when you say when you lose the device, yeah, it's like a dopamine slot machine.
Exactly.
That's what it is, and
So your dopamine's gone. And yeah, you kind of nailed it there. The dopamine's gone. How are you going to get that dopamine in a different way while you're alone?
But what I find weird is I see people like with big headphones on and they're alone, yet are they not wanting to engage? That's to me it's fascinating because I want to hear everything that's happening around me, yet there's so many people that are siloing up and just like literally they want to be in this little bubble.
Mm-hmm. And that alone in that bubble can be in a public environment a very safe place. So it's almost like isolating with people around, creating that, like you say, safe bubble. So there's a positive and a negative to that. So and I don't want to dive too deep into both sides, but but some individuals actually crave and need that positive isolation, shall we say, in order to get through the day sometimes. So being like a task being overwhelming, let's say grocery shopping, something so simple. You walk into the Walmart, there's the cart there, but there's so many noises, there's so many things going on. All of that is so overwhelming to some people that isolating in a public forum is actually a positive way for them to enjoy and get through that experience.
Oh, I'm glad I asked the question because when I look at it, I'm seeing it obviously from my perspective. I'm going, why would someone want to like isolate like audibly? like really to block out the rest of the world where I'm walking around and I've chosen, it's like, I want to hear everything. I want to make sure that someone goes, get the hell out of the way.
Right.
There's a truck coming
Yeah.
versus being in bliss listening to music. I did listen, when I listened to you, I did place judgment on it. But now that you've opened that other perspective, I never considered that blocking out the world can be a calming practice.
Yeah, yeah. Blocking out, and I'm just going to take the blocking for a moment because it's almost, you don't want to block the world out. You want to amalgamate it with your own world so that it all becomes calm. If the music can drown out the noise that's happening in their head that makes everything so overwhelming, it actually allows you to participate in a way that isn't so overwhelming by drowning that out. So it's almost, think of it like white noise. When you sleep, you need that white noise to quiet the thoughts so you can, it's the same thing, but in an everyday life situation.
I chuckle because I do sensory deprivation work. So I go in and it's like there is no white noise, but I have earplugs in. There's no sound, but I'm hearing stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it's like where's this white noise being generated if there's, is it all inside my head?
Maybe. No.
So this time, your third time up, how does it, for the people that never shared, how does this third time on the stage feel compared to the first time?
A little more comfortable, just because I understand what the pattern is. I understand what's going to happen. So there's not the nerve of, I wonder what it's going to be like, although there is always that, I wonder what it's going to be like. I'm also off paper this time. I'm not holding a script, so I am a little nervous about that. But I feel a little bit more comfortable.
What's it like to work with Winston?
Oh, so frustrating. No. Working with Winston is actually, I often will write and then send it to you or to Winston, as I know as soon as you read through it and you grasp it, it will automatically make me dive deeper into what I'm trying to say. So I will set the tone, so almost setting the establishing shot, and then you bring in the script a little bit more, and we dive into and get a little closer into what the actual point or theme of what I'm trying to say is. So working with Winston is inspiring. Yeah.